haven't seen that one. Have you worn that one before?
Not on the pod, but I've worn it.
I like it. Joe's Meat Market.
Advertising the local business.
One of the few places that was open during COVID
That's right, man.
that you could get fresh, like, and obviously the big store was open. Obviously Walmart, but big store. Okay, when I had this one from Buc-ee's before, it was very flavorful. It had a lot of flavor. They usually smell good.
Yeah.
Yeah, smell good. Sweet. It's a sweeter smell,
Mm-hmm.
which I like.
So, yeah, we've got Buc-ee's themed cigars.
This is the Glen Single Malt Scotch Ted cigar. Oh, there's that.
This is the room. And that's all I get, except that it's Ted Cigars, which is the brand that Buc-ee sells. And it's a Dominican Republic. I like cigars from Nicaragua. But, you know.
We'll make an adjustment for today. Go a flat cut. I'll go a flat cut too.
I just started recording.
You just started it? Yes. At least we know.
But, yeah, our Buc-ee cigars.
So,
Oh, we kept that. What do you got?
what do I have?
Yeah.
The Glen Single Scotch Ted cigar. Doesn't say where it's from. Maybe it's on this. They got the real nice, hand rolled in the Dominican Republic as well, just like yours.
Yeah, Ted Cigars. I have the room. Also Dominican Republic, so smells good. Flavor. It's a little dry. Not sure of the actual humidor situation at the Buc-ee's. So,
Well, if you keep them in this, it's supposed to keep them a little closer so they can stay on the shelves a little longer. If I remember correctly, the one that I had before was a little dry. It was only in my humidor for like a week.
yeah, this
But
one's
it's in the glass, so it doesn't really have the same effect.
I wonder, these little caps have the sponge.
Yep,
I wonder if that's got like water in it.
it's supposed to.
Feels
When they ship them, it's supposed
feels
to.
very dry.
It is very dry.
But yeah, I'm wearing a Joe's Meat Market hat. Joe doesn't sponsor us or endorse anything we say that we know of, but it's a great local business. Great guy, like you said, stayed open during COVID, but he has the best fajita meat.
100%.
We go there, we get our steaks and our fajita meat from Joe's. That's a good day. Great prices too. But also like anything else you want. Peppers, onions, produce, seasonings,
Avocados.
tortillas. His avocados are huge.
Well, and his hot sauce.
Got some big avocados. That
He
guy.
does have big avocados, and they're. I always have him pick them for me because like I can't ever get the right
I
ones.
don't know either. Yeah. I never asked him to. I should. I should be like, hey, pick these out for me. That'd be great. Oh, that's a long pass.
We're so deprived of football that we're watching a 2023, I believe, because I just saw Trevor Lawrence from Clemson throw to.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
That's Pretty Boy Floyd there.
Okay, so to start the pod, I got a couple questions
Oh, and
for
they're
you.
all in masks.
Yeah, and their
In
space.
2023?
That's what I thought it was. It may not be 2023. Oh, he's got a mask.
Even
on
the
the
coaches
sideline.
are wearing masks, but the players are not.
Yeah, the players are not.
Of course, that makes sense.
Of course.
We should go back
The
and
Gators.
watch. We need to go back and watch 2020 and 2021 TV like this, just so we can make fun for how none of it made sense.
But look at the spacing.
Yeah, like how spaced out they are. They're probably
Golly.
like the people that are sitting next to each other are probably like family units.
Yeah. Well, I think we attended something. This must be 2021.
It's got to be. If they're all masked up and everything.
Looking at it now, it seems ridiculous
Yeah.
because it's ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah, he just beat his guy.
Yeah, he just outran him. Notre Dame. We're going to live update a game that happened in 2021.
That you'll hear about on the
ACC,
podcast.
ACC game.
When we post it.
ACC championship game.
Hey.
All right, so to start the pod,
Okay, I'm
So-
dumb. Why is... Never mind. I'm not going to ask it. It's the 2021 game. But football's back.
Football is back. But I got some questions for you before we hop into the Cowboys. So, coaching buddy of mine is telling me a story. He calls me. He's like, hey, man, I got to tell you this. He's like, this joke was told on stage at Convocation. It's like, okay.
Your district or different?
No, different district.
Okay.
Not anywhere in the listening ears of our podcast.
Okay.
It says, he says this is the school board president is like opening Convocation and they're telling jokes and handing out, prizes and door prizes and all that stuff. And he says, oh, looks like we got a nice t-shirt. It looks like a teacher t-shirt. And the other guy goes, oh, well, what makes a teacher t-shirt? And he says, it's made of Kevlar.
No, it's not a good convocation joke. Convocation is supposed to be lively and happy.
Yeah. He said it did not bode well in the room. I was like, yeah, that's probably not something you should say.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
agree.
rough one.
That's a womp womp womp.
I think that's a little bit more than a womp womp womp. I mean, coming from the school board president, you definitely should know better than to say that. There you go.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But so we're back. I'm back full time now. This is technically my first week. So I have this app that keeps track. I don't know why I started doing it. It was like 2018 because I was curious, right? I was curious like how much time I spend at the school and like especially when I'm in season or out of season. So last week I was only there 3 days of the work week and I worked 47 hours. And then this week I was a first full week back. So 5 full days and it was 57 hours I spent at the school.
What you're doing is what every accountant hates to do, and you're doing it voluntarily. Like we hate in public accounting, we hate tracking our time. We have to write down everything we do, but it's a little more detailed. It's not just how much time we spent working that day. It's what we worked on and who we're going to charge it to.
Well, it's always shocking to me how much time I do actually spend up at the school. Like, and I know I'm a coach, so I spend a little bit more time there than most people, but it's fascinating to me how many hours I spend there. And then it irritates me too when you hear like, oh, you get the summers off and you don't work as much, or you only work 187 days or whatever. And I'm like,
yeah, I say all that stuff to my wife.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
You probably do. You probably do.
I don't. I really don't. She did say a week or so ago before she had to go back. She said, I got to get back in the groove of things. And I'm like, I've just been here. Still just going to work every day.
Yeah, but you get to work from home, so it's a little bit easier. At times you get to work from home.
Yeah. Which is still work.
Yeah, and sometimes it might be worse.
I need people to understand.
I understand.
Especially my children.
Yeah.
That I am actually working. I've had to have that talk with them several times. Like, all these things you like having? I'm in here like working so you can have those things. Like, do you want to keep those things? Leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, as I'm around people more, I was standing next to somebody. They don't listen to the podcast, I promise. And their breath was so bad, dude. And so I'm thinking like, I can't even focus on the conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a super important conversation, but it's like something I need to be listening to.
And it wasn't cigar breath.
And it was not cigar breath. Like, and there's a very distinct breath that you have when you have cigar breath. This is like 8:30 in the morning. So if this person did have cigar breath, I would not judge. But it got me thinking like, do people know when they have bad breath?
Mm-mm.
How do you not know? Like,
I'm convinced.
I know. When I wake up in the morning, first thing I do, go brush my teeth.
Well,
Before I leave the house, I usually brush my teeth. Before I interact with any other human being outside of my own home, I usually have a piece of gum in because I do not want to have stinky breath.
If you know me, I almost always have a can of Altoids in my pocket. I will go through some Altoids. I keep those people in business. So, not because I just have really bad breath. I like Altoids.
You're conscious of it too.
I love
though.
Altoids.
It just drives me crazy. I'm like, person, please. Yeah. And so then they're also a close talker.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we have to.
That's two negatives right there.
Clint and I stand far enough apart to where we can't really smell each other.
And
but we also have ears in, so we can definitely hear each other very,
can.
very well.
very well.
And this person stood as close as this microphone is to my face.
Oh my jeez.
And I'm like, so I'm slowly backing up like this. And it just kept, they just kept getting closer. And I'm like, why are you standing so close to me? It's a personal space.
Can't do
Personal
it.
space.
Can't do it. We don't stand that close together, and 5 or 10 minutes into the podcast, it smells like cigars anyway. So
It's good, but it's dry.
it is dry.
I'd smoke it again.
Yeah.
So far.
And I kind of feel like Bucky's is Bucky's. You know,
It's the one-stop shop.
it is, and it's like, hey, if you really need a cigar,
Yeah.
we got those too. But you know,
I
it's
really
not a
liked,
cigar shop.
I really liked it when they had the punch cigars.
Something else you Colorado people are missing out on that don't want to allow Bucky's in your town.
They probably would have something else there if it was
You could
in
have had some
Colorado.
cigars. I wonder if Bucky's would.
If it makes money, I bet they would.
I don't know about that. No, because it's too many rules. Like, it's cash only. And
Even in Colorado?
And because it's cash only, they keep everything behind, like,
Glass.
secure everything. Like, you got to walk in, show your ID. I wonder if there is a weed shop inside of another store that's not just a standalone. That would be a difficult operation.
The logistics of that would be very difficult.
Man, we got off on that one.
We did.
Colorado, you want a Bucky's?
Maybe we should be the official podcast that starts the protest in the opposite direction of Bucky's is needed in Colorado, even though we're in Texas.
Yeah, let's start it.
We got it down. We'll have shirts
We
made.
need to start some of our pushing some of our reels and post to be specific to that area of Colorado.
I'm on it.
Just the links, just for when we're talking about it. We're
Yep.
like, man, these guys down there in Texas you're missing out.
You're missing out. I'm
You
going to
really-
look right into the camera and say, you were missing out. I think this may be like the 5th time in a row that we've talked
it
about
has
Buc-ee's.
come up way too much.
Too much. Almost like the Barn Swallow talk last week for
That was just too long.
it was 15 minutes.
It was.
I didn't anticipate that when I listened back.
I think the barn swallow talk was like 15 minutes, and when I was editing, I think we talked about pedicures and feet for a good 10.
So my middle daughter got really bothered by that conversation. She's like, "Dad, do you have a foot fetish?" I'm like, "No, no, I do not."
We'll do better. We'll do better.
So my son has started collecting McDonald's toys from the Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new ones
Yeah.
that they have out?
Basically, it's like their own marketing.
It's their own marketing
Yeah.
themselves. It's genius. It's genius. It's like when we were kids and they had the Monopoly tabs and you had to get the Monopoly board. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Okay. And then they had like they always had a theme. And I just feel like they've gone away from that. And now they're going back and I like it.
We were somewhere in Arizona on the way back from California when we first got those McDonald's. That's a good movie. Have you seen that? The first one?
I don't know what it is.
It's called Nobody,
Nope.
and it's Bob Odenkirk.
Okay.
So now we're a movie podcast, but that is a great movie. I like Odenkirk. Like I like the Better Call Saul, like the stuff he's been in. But you need to watch the first one, and it's just called Nobody, and then Nobody 2 comes out Friday. It's
Okay. I'll check it out.
I hope it's good.
It
You
looks
don't
like a
normally-
John Wick movie.
You don't normally see Bob Odenkirk as the action star in the action movie,
Okay.
but he's great.
I don't know actors by
Did you ever watch
names.
Breaking Bad?
Parts of it, yeah. I
He's
didn't watch
he's
all
the
of it.
attorney.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
Saul Goodman.
We're going to skip that next one.
Okay.
Football is here. Football is here.
Did you watch the game?
Okay, I did watch the game. My first take was the first 2 possessions. Play that sound again. It's exactly what I thought. The first 2 possessions. What was it? 8 incompletions in a row?
Yeah.
Well, 8 net negative plays because they did complete a pass, but it wasn't positive. I mean, it's kind of what I think about it.
Preseason.
It's preseason. Nobody played. That's important.
It's Joe Milton.
I thought he looked okay, though.
Yeah. I thought he got better towards the end of the game. That TD pass was pretty cool.
yeah, I'm just. It all doesn't matter if we don't make the playoffs and then lose in the first round.
It's going to be an interesting season.
It is going to be an interesting season.
Did you see what I put on the run sheet about that? Shaq
Yes.
says that he will wear a dress if the Cowboys lose the season opener to the Phillies. And as a Cowboys fan, I want to be like, what does Shaq know that I don't know?
I mean, he probably does know something. Because he doesn't seem like a guy that would just make a
I also
erroneous
love
bet.
that he's like, I know he has houses everywhere, but he spent a lot of time in like literally the main town next door to us.
Yes.
And like where you just run into him at like Walmart. He's been on the lake when I've been on the lake before, like just tying up and hanging out. So it's kind of cool to have Shaq basically living in your town.
How big is his boat?
He has a pontoon. Probably has a couple.
Yeah, I would say he probably has like yacht too.
I mean, I don't even know if it was his, but that's the one I saw him on. So, and he came and tied up and took pictures with everybody and stayed for a little bit. Cool guy. Seems to, I always want to tell people like, don't bother him too much, you know, because I want him to hang out and stay,
Yeah.
you know, but he seems to be cool with it.
Well, he was at the local yogurt store.
Yeah, I saw
Just
that.
kind of chilling.
Yeah. He's huge, man. It's not like he can hide anywhere, so he's
No.
probably used to it.
He definitely is used to it.
But man, I hope you put on a dress, Shaq, because I hope that means we built the filthy Eagles in the season opener, beat the defending champs. I don't think there's really much of any way that could happen, especially if JJ's over there saying Micah's not going to play.
Well, now he's hurt and tight back.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. It's just, it is what it is. Either sign him or don't. Either play or don't. I mean, it seems like on the surface, it feels like it's a rebuilding year anyways.
yeah.
So,
I think if they are playing this out on purpose, like it's the 4D chess thing where it's always been in the works and going to happen, but they're going to try to get the screen time and the minutes and the clicks. And that's why they're having this whatever feud or holdout time.
yeah.
If that's the case, I think at this point they've now jumped the shark. Like it's gone too long. Like people are tired of it now.
Yeah.
It was like people are still going to talk about it. It's still a big story and a big story, especially here in DF Dub. But at this point, do you know what the reference "jump the shark" is?
I mean, I know.
You know where it comes from?
No.
Happy Days.
No, I didn't know that.
So the old TV show.
I know
it was
that.
in the
I know
50s.
TV.
Yeah, they the Fonz jumped a ski ramp and a shark.
Oh, it came out like
and
Jaws.
that was when the show like went downhill. It was like,
Oh.
okay, you've now gone too far, and so
Yeah.
that's why. But yeah,
Jumped the
I
shark.
think the Micah Jerry feud has now jumped the shark, and it's just time to be like, man, we've got preseason games going on. Let's end this crap. If this is going on in the beginning of the summer, okay,
Yeah.
but like it's almost the middle of August. Like, come on.
Well, I'm just it's as I said last week, it's par for the course for Jerry. And I just don't feel like Micah fits that mold of like he doesn't seem like he wants to really argue a whole lot. He doesn't want to interact with it.
It's
It's kind of like the Jalen Brunson situation.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when they were in contract negotiations, he said, "I want it done by the beginning of the season, and I'm not talking about it again."
yeah.
Now, football is obviously a little bit different than basketball, especially NBA versus NFL contracts. But it's kind of feels like that. Like Brunson seemed like a no nonsense guy, kind of like Micah does when it comes to his contract.
Micah has his own brand though. That makes it
that
different
makes
as
a
well. Micah
difference.
has his own brand. He has his own following. So, you know, and at some point, Jerry Jones obviously is a big name too, but Micah's not a nobody.
Yeah.
And Micah doesn't need, I don't know, we kind of talked about this some on the last podcast, whether or not Micah really needs the Cowboys to keep his brand.
Yeah.
And maybe it was important for it to get started, but if he goes to another team, he's going to be just the same as the two Kelsey brothers
Yeah.
with their podcast. You know,
Yeah. I just think that it
like
needs-
he's still going to keep his popularity even if he plays for another team.
either sign him or don't. That's
Yep.
where I'm at.
Yep.
But the game, the game was a preseason game. I mean, I didn't know. 3/4 of the guys out there I'd never even heard of.
I wasn't. It was on the TV, but I was doing some other stuff, so I was really just listening in. You know, and nobody played. You know, right?
Right.
I mean, CD still got tackled.
I saw that.
Man, it was a bad one too.
Yeah, I thought he got hurt.
It wasn't a bump.
No,
Like,
he ran smooth over him.
Yeah.
That official ran right over him.
Especially when they show it in slow mo, like you see him, like his.
Yeah, his neck looks like it cracked.
Dude.
There were some awful injuries though. Again,
Yeah,
that guy snapped his leg in half. By the way, you need to sign up for fantasy football
I know.
if you're gonna do it.
I will. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, Dak was out. CD didn't play. Not out, but obviously not playing. I don't think they're going to play any preseason games.
I don't think, and they shouldn't.
No, I don't.
What's the point?
I mean,
Give these guys some burn. Let's see what Joe Milton can do.
Yeah.
Like, let's see if they may play one series.
the
if
Romo
that.
injury was a preseason game, right?
Wasn't
It was, and it
the
wasn't
back one?
Wasn't it in LA? The one where Dak came in.
I don't think so. I think it was a regular season. Pause.
you're right.
I'll find out.
But I thought Dak played the whole season in his own right. Like, I think it was a preseason game.
We're about to find out. I
And did you see they cut him down another game? It's only 3 this time. This year,
oh, it was in Seattle.
Seattle
Preseason game in Seattle.
Romo's luck with Seattle. That was also the fumbled hold for the field goal in the playoff game.
I don't remember if I said this on the pod, but when he got hurt, I thought he died. I think I did because I think I remember putting it in a clip. I thought he died,
Yeah,
but
well,
I don't.
it's because he didn't get back up.
I don't
Like
want to see them.
Like I always got back up
I don't want to see them get hurt. I don't want to see them
for no.
for no reason, none whatsoever.
They're already playing live drills against the other team. You know,
Yeah,
they're already seeing the other team in practice. The game is just the game. So I'm sure there's some benefit to it. And I'm sure there's a talk about rust and whatnot and trying to come out and play the defending Super Bowl freaking champs. I hate saying that.
I don't want us to talk about the Eagles.
Let's not.
I don't hate the Eagles as much as I hate the Astros.
Mm,
I hate the Astros because they're cheaters. That's why I hate the Astros.
yeah.
On to the news.
Did you see Cowherd getting on shoddy for his backwards visor?
Yes, I saw that.
He talked way too much about that.
It's kind of like us and barn swallows.
I get it. Like, if you want to make fun of shoddy for wearing not only a visor anyway, which I feel like is way too 2003 right now, or just been wearing it backwards, all right. But like, he went on.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
It was too much.
I know. Probably a slow news day for him.
Well, I mean, this is kind of relevant to the topic, but I only watched the Cowboy game because that's the only one I could find.
Mm.
But I can sure find Little League World Series softball or cornhole or
They do show a lot of cornhole. I have noticed that.
pickleball
I haven't seen
or
any pickleball.
a 2001 or 2021 ACC championship game.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, how in the world is the NFL the biggest product, one of the biggest products in the world on television entertainment, and you can't find it? I know it was on the NFL Network, but
Yeah.
I don't have that.
But like our main TV that has all our channels is Hulu. It's Hulu Live, and so they have it. And I think I know a lot of people use YouTube TV, and I don't know if they had NFL Network or not. They probably do. And so if you have the majority of people,
Yeah.
getting Hulu and YouTube for their, I mean, this is going to come up with Howard Stern, and maybe we can just talk about it now because I'm going to make a similar point. Like, so many more people today, you get all of their TV from streaming.
Right.
Even if they have DirecTV,
Right.
they're still streaming.
Right.
Like, actual cable in the ground and satellite, I don't know the actual numbers. I could probably look it up, but I'm not really that interested in it. But it has changed. And so I think that's why you see all the Thursday night games that were on Prime last year. You know, like, you can take an entire series of games and put it on a streaming platform and just make people go watch it. You know?
Yeah, and I realize I'm kind of grabbing a little bit about something that's irrelevant that I do recognize. It's down, dropping about 37% over the last 3 years. So
It's dropped 30%, or it is at 37 right now?
it dropped 37% to 54%.
Dang. Okay, so it's still a little more than half.
A little more than half. Because there are places where you just can't stream. Like my parents can't stream.
Yeah.
Because they get good internet, but like whenever they start to try to
Yeah.
stream something, it's not there. So it's
Well,
down
like-
37%, but 54% of the United States household.
That's going to continue to change and continue to go down. And I think that was the biggest issue with Howard Stern. Like he was on Sirius XM. Like who the heck has satellite radio anymore? Like that used to be the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Because it was before you had your iPhone. So the
Right.
iPhone changed so many things, but before you had your iPhone, you had these satellite channels and you could listen to all these different people all over
Right.
the world. You didn't just have your local radio. Like when satellite radio was popular, you had the radio or your book of CDs that you could listen to in your vehicle, right? And then satellite changed that, but it was short-lived. Like it ran its course quickly because as soon as the iPhone came out and streaming came out, then you have podcasts taking off, you know. And so I think I saw that Howard Stern at one time had 20 million listeners, and they estimate now this past year he was down to 125,000.
Good Lord. That's a significant drop.
Yeah,
It came on.
that was Financial Times. I mean, I think that's a good article.
Yeah.
Down to 125,000 listeners. Like, oh yeah, I agree. Sirius cannot pay him $500 million, which was the contract renewal for 125 listeners. Like, and you know, when I bought my truck a year or two ago, of course you get that they still giving out the free 3 months for Sirius XM. I'm sure you just bought a new vehicle.
It was on there.
Probably did the same thing. I didn't even sign up for it.
I didn't
Like,
either.
I'm not even gonna take the free 3 months because I'm not going to pay for it later, and I'm not going to listen to anything. So
No.
I think there's people that probably pay for it,
That don't
either-
even realize they pay for it anymore.
that, and I think that listen to just Howard Stern and maybe a couple other shows they really like. It's like this the reason we pay for Paramount Plus, like as an individual streaming service. It's I think $8 a month.
Right.
Like I'm not losing any sleep over that, and we probably watch one show.
Right.
You know.
Same with Peacock.
Yeah.
So I think this is a double-edged sword for a person like Howard Stern. First off, politically, he came out on the wrong side of this thing. He was in the the correct side of the political pendulum for a long time. And then now this has happened with what has happened with Trump, and then he's on the opposite side of that. So any listeners that he had that he pissed off, he never got those guys back or those people back. Also, he's a shock jock.
Yeah.
Well, that was not popular during during the Biden era. Like that woke idea of some of the things that he talks about is not
It's almost like he pissed off both sides.
both sides. And now who's your audience?
Right.
Then you have what is talked about now is you have what we've just been talking about is you have all these people who, I mean, shoot, we'll even listen to the regular radio on an app, like the iHeartRadio app. I mean, if for whatever reason we don't have good and we want good radio service, which when we travel, we'll just turn on 99.5 The Wolf on the iHeartRadio app because it's familiar.
Yep.
And we'll just Bluetooth it through our phone. But also, like 125,000 listeners is not a lot.
No.
That is not a lot. Not when you're getting millions of downloads.
Yeah. And I think he said he'd be back after Labor Day. And I bet his contract, I think, runs for another year or maybe till the end of this year. Like it's not completely up, but I think he'll be back on the podcast. I think it's like, it's an easy transition.
It's a very easy transition.
You already have a studio, record it.
Right. Well, and then you don't have any, I mean, he'll have sponsors still, but he won't have anybody holding him back. And he can go back to that if he wants to. He can go back to that old shock jock type content.
I might actually listen to him.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to listen to him on satellite.
No. And I think that that's the only platform he's on, right?
Yeah.
because he can't be on
Because
YouTube.
he's exclusive.
He's exclusive.
He's exclusive.
So that
It's the
that
same
kind
thing,
of
same thing with
pigeonholed him.
Rogan on Spotify.
Right.
You know,
And that was the whole
But-
the whole contract negotiation that he had this time though, was he was able to put it back on YouTube because it went off of YouTube for a while.
but like with Rogan on Spotify, I don't pay for Spotify.
I don't either.
We have Amazon Prime, so that's our quote unquote paid music subscription. But you can still listen to it. But with Sirius XM, like you can't.
Right.
Now Conan, I listened to Conan O'Brien's podcast. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Those are good. And he's also partnered with Sirius recently. But all it is early access.
Gotcha.
So like it's probably out now, but a couple weeks ago he had, I think, John Mulaney on again, who's a funny comedian. And I went to tap on it and it brings up the paywall. And I was like, oh, well, that's like early subscriber access.
Right.
Like, fine, I'll wait a week.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's kind of like that with everything now, right? You watch a TV show and it's, if you want early access to it, you got to download whatever. And I'm not that desperate to watch it right then most of the time anyways. And I'll either record it on our DirecTV stream or I'll just wait till it comes out on the stream.
Right.
Streaming service, whatever it is on. But yeah, that was one that like they put a whole list. This was a very conservative article that I was reading, and it was like The View. They put The View in that category along with Howard Stern, and it was basically talking.
That one is interesting. I wonder what's going to happen to that one.
I think it'll just go away.
I feel like, though, I was talking with somebody about this that likes it, and we were arguing because I was like, how do you watch that? Like, legitimately. I want to know. You're somebody that watches it every single day. 10 a.m., ABC, they're watching.
Are they an 85-year-old woman?
No.
Huh.
No. They're a college professor.
Oh. I just don't understand that.
And they watch it. They don't have a class. So, like, literally, they have it on in their office. They watch it every single day.
That's what you pick?
And I was like, how? Like, I really just can't stand it. Like, and I do not agree with their political stance. But it goes beyond that. I can watch and listen to a lot of people I disagree with politically. I'm not probably going to watch it every day, but I can at least handle it, right? I can't handle.
I can't even handle it as background noise.
I know, like it's, and so, but I feel like though, Jerry Springer was also on for a long time, and The View is a little bit of a train wreck, right?
It is.
You know, so
it is.
It's like maybe it stays on and keeps viewers because maybe some people are watching for the train wreck.
I can't stand their voices, so I definitely won't listen.
I just can't.
I can't stand to watch it. I can't stand Whoopi. I can't stand Joy Behar. I can't stand
It's
any of
just
that stuff.
fake.
It is. And now that they're having to do like,
It's fake outrage.
my thing is when they were at least making ridiculous points, they just let them go with it. Well, now ABC makes them come back and apologize right after the break. So they make a erroneous point or stupid point, and then ABC makes them come back and correct it. Now that's great entertainment, I suppose, but I can catch that on clips.
We have a legal note.
Yeah, we have a legal
I've-
note, and then
I've
somebody
seen
reads
it
it.
enough that we'll see that I have a legal note here from the producer.
The Twitch says they can only hear one of us. We are smoking cigars that we got from Bucky's. This one is called the Glend Single Malt Scotch. It's connected. I don't know.
Mine is the Room Bucky cigar.
And he is smoking the Room. But yeah, I just don't like it. It's not entertaining to me. So why would I watch it?
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. I kind of feel like there's been a wash of them with Colbert. I think Kimmel's probably afraid. And with Stern. So I think The View's got another year, but I don't know what their viewership is. So at the end of the day, but also think about when it's on. Probably has a pretty good amount of market share at 10 a.m. on weekdays,
Well, I know my wife's grandmother used to watch it because it came on right before her soap, and she didn't want to miss her soap. So she would flip that on and have to listen to that. And no, we're not doing another 10 minutes for the person not from Texas on Bucky's. The Twitch with jokes.
Interesting story I saw today. we go to Vegas a lot, so I follow a lot of Vegas type accounts, whether it be on Twitter or socials or whatever. And there's a AI platform called Agrippa that basically takes the broker, more or less the real estate agent, out of the transaction for selling commercial real estate. And they're in Vegas. So it's like Match.com or whatever, Tinder, whatever, for people who want to buy commercial real estate and people who are selling commercial real estate. And it just aligns what people are looking for on the buyer side with what people want to sell on the seller side, takes care of all of the legal documentation, appraisals, gets all that done on an AI platform, and takes the brokers out of the mix, which that's significant, right? Because, brokers making their percentage on sales. If you have an AI platform that can just take that out, that is a massive cost that the seller doesn't pay, and they get, because the buyer's paying the same amount regardless.
Right.
And if the seller's paying a 3% buyer and seller side, whatever it is in the contract, it could be more, could be less, but 6% of a $45 million casino sale that they just brokered on this platform is a lot of money.
45 million?
Yes.
So, wow, that's a lot of money.
Over $3 million, nearly $4 million in broker commissions.
Right.
On this deal that a broker did not get.
Right.
Because they use this AI platform. So this CEO got a note basically saying that, Clark Kent wannabe, because the guy kind of does look like Clark Kent a little bit. He doesn't have the Superman curl, but she's got that look to him.
Yeah.
The CEO does. Las Vegas was built by brokers, is what they said, not by tech guys and AI startups. And they sent him a severed pig's head in the mail wrapped in paper with this note that said, the whole pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. So
right.
Watch yourself, basically. Don't take too much as a threat. But you said it on the last podcast, we haven't talked a lot about AI. It's kind of come up in cursory conversations, but this is an area, I think, in professional search, you talk about AI is not going to come fix your clogged drain. Okay. Now
right.
AI might tell you what you need to know to fix it yourself.
Right.
So I don't
But so does YouTube.
Right. But AI is so much better.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is when I say AI, that's what I'm talking about. Because you get the train of thought. You can ask the question,
right.
It can tell you the answer, then you can say, okay, actually this, and it'll refine the information, and it's
right.
it's a train. So for all the people saying, well, AI is not coming for the blue collar jobs. I mean, kinda, maybe not as much, but I do agree that where it's going to have the most impact initially and now is in those professional services types of jobs. I mean, years ago, you had LegalZoom, which kind of started that.
Right.
Where you didn't have to go to an attorney if you wanted just to go form an LLC. They would charge you about a third of what an attorney was charging and form it quickly. And they had attorneys working for them, but it was sort of that type of large model where they're selling volume. And there's always going to be an argument for you want a person. So when things go south, I really don't, when I talk to people, ever recommend going the LegalZoom route, because I'm yeah, you could pay 3 times as much, but 3 times as much might be another $700 or $800 and
right.
have a real attorney do it. And then if something goes sideways, you have somebody's contact and somebody you used. So I do recommend using a real person. But when you talk about a real estate transaction, for a simple, just here's a property, I need to get it appraised, I need to have an inspection done, and if everything checks out, I'm going to buy it, and I need all the forms prepared for that. I think that's an area where, again, I'm not advocating it. Don't come at me, realtors. But I'm saying it is an area where I could really see a big disruption in the market. And realtors have had a hard go at it these last couple of years with rates being so high and volume being down. And I think this is an area that's really going to disrupt that market.
I don't think it's just that one either.
It's not.
We can talk, but so just this last week, United Airlines had a tech issue, and the way thousands of delays, dozens of canceled flights, and it was fixed. You guessed it, by AI.
Yeah.
The issue was fixed by that. I don't know all the details of it because I didn't dive super deep into it. But while we're on that topic, that's how it was fixed. And so in my world, there's a lot of talk about, like, in education world, like, well, are we harming students by taking their cell phones away because now they're not going to get to use technology?
Right.
Well, no, because they still have access to a Chromebook or some sort of laptop in almost every single district in the state of Texas. So that's a moot point. But where teachers are going to have to really step up is on the social aspect. Is because, like, history is what I teach. Well, history is so broad. I can't know everything about everything. So, like, if we're talking about something and I don't know, the first thing that I'm going to tell them to do, well, let's look it up and let's go find out what it is.
Right.
But the interaction is what is the more important sometimes than the content.
Yeah.
And so I think that is going to be an area where education is okay for at least the time being. I mean, I'm talking 10, 20 years. Now, we may get to a point to where all teachers are is just a facilitator of information. And what that looks like, I don't know, but it'll be interesting as we, like even in your world, in the CPA world, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Are they talking about that at all?
Oh, yeah. But the talk for years has been, if you're a CPA, if you're an accountant, controller, whatever, CFO, AI is not coming for your job. But in the future, the people who don't have jobs in accounting are the ones who aren't using AI.
Right.
And the ones who do have jobs in accounting are the ones who are using AI.
Yeah.
And that makes complete sense because I can't anymore. Everything, like on the public accounting side of it, it's all about efficiency, because every hour me or one of my people spend working on a client gets charged to the client. So if I need to review an accounting policy or any type of policy for certain elements to make sure that everything's covered, like, yes, I could take a new associate. That's pretty grunt work type of work. I could have them do it, and their bill rate's probably $200, $220 an hour to sit and do that work as a straight out of college first year associate.
Right.
Or I can plug it into Copilot, which is the one that a lot of businesses use because it's connected to the Microsoft suite and it's more secure than throwing a client's document into ChatGPT.
Right.
So throw it into Copilot and say, find these elements for me. This is what I'm looking for. It'll take it. I've done it. It'll take it in like seconds, highlight all of those items, and I will browse, click next, read, say, yes, that makes sense. Oh, I've got a comment here. I got a recommendation here. I just took that associate out of it completely.
Right.
It was already what AI has done and the large language models and things have done for my line of work is it's taken those people out of the equation and brought it straight to my level already. So what it means for us is people who are coming straight out of college into public accounting are starting at higher level work and more analytical work right off the bat and less grunt work.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Which is my preference. And this is there's two different ways you can go. In the most recent 5 to 10 years, a lot of accounting firms, especially what we call the big four accounting firms, have gone overseas for that type of work, have gone to India, have gone to the Philippines for that type of work to be performed at lower rates than what we're paying U.S., associates and senior associates to do. And so, in my opinion, if AI can replace that, and then it can go up to a new associate or senior associate to make sure it covered everything it's supposed to cover, and then pass it up to review to the manager or senior manager or whatever, then I like that chain of events better than, outsourcing that to India or the Philippines.
Well,
I would rather use AI for the grunt work than
outsource.
India or the Philippines for the grunt work and then send it back over.
Yeah. And I think too, like, you're seeing that all kinds of levels of jobs. It's just some areas of the world are taking longer to catch up than others. And it hasn't been that long though, like 2 years.
It's so fast.
It's so fast. And I was telling somebody the other day, I joke with my brother is like a doom and gloom kind of rabbit hole guy. He hops down those holes all the time. And I'm like, dude, just unplug your internet. That'll gladly take away AI. I mean, he sent me a video the other day of Sam Altman talking, and
I was going to look that up. Yeah.
And it was like talking about all the stuff about AI and how it's going to change how we do things and yada, 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 yada. And I just sent him back. I was like, hey, I got the answer. Just unplug it. He's like, you can't unplug the internet. I'm like, yeah, you can. Just go over to your wall and unplug it.
But even electrical grid and everything else is run on the internet.
No, I know.
As United Airlines found out, right?
Right. But it's funny because like I remember very, very vividly when I was in 8th grade math algebra, our algebra teacher was like harping on us about writing everything out. Like you have to write your steps out because you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket. Well, guess what? I do. It's right here.
I know.
And so like, even though I understand the principle of adding 1 + 1 = 2, we do have a very, very powerful calculator actually. And I think that that's how this is going to start. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's going to be the end goal. I don't know if that's going to be the end of it. But like, so for example, I was in grad school, or I'm technically still enrolled, but I'm not taking any classes right now, but over the winter. And so all I did when I was writing my papers is I was inputting the information, and then ChatGPT was analyzing it for me to make sure it made sense. Mm-hmm. Is that cheating? I don't know. I didn't. When I put it through the system, because you had to upload it into the university's documentation, it didn't flag it. Mm-hmm. And so, that was just a way of sourcing my work and making sure that it was edited properly and making sure I followed all the steps. And they have those programs.
It's a way of using a tool that you have.
Yeah. And so like my question was, and this is a conversation that I had with an English teacher. So then if you're saying they can't use ChatGPT or even Wikipedia to a certain extent, then can they use Grammarly? Mm-hmm. She was like, well, yeah. Well, then it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
That's the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing. Yep. And so I think as educators, we have to do a better job of teaching them how to use the tools available to them.
Yep.
And this is a tool that's available to them. I met with my coworker this week, and he has done a great job of infusing it all throughout the year. Mm-hmm. And like, we're going to have them build AI images, we're going to have them build AI videos, and we're going to have them build all these AI things that go along throughout the year. So
I think that's the way teachers and educators should look at it, because like you said, the teachers that told us we were not going to have a calculator with us all the time were wrong. I think teachers and educators today who look at AI and don't make those types of statements, because you don't know what we're going to have. And so, a teacher saying, well, you can't use, the equivalent would be a teacher saying you can't just use AI for everything when you need to write. Like, I don't know, like, we use it all the time in work because it's more efficient.
Right.
Like, we're not trying to show our work. Like, I need to analyze it and make sure it's legit and good. Like, and I need to tweak it sometimes, finesse the language for the client I'm sending it to. But at the end of the day, yes, we are using it because it is more efficient.
Right. So the Twitch asks, is it decreasing critical thinking skills? I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing too. Like, lazy people are going to do lazy things. Like, I feel like I think harder. I use critical thinking more because I'm trying to figure out exactly what point I'm trying to make. Mm-hmm. Then I have to analyze what it's sending back to me to make sure that's the outcome that I'm looking for.
Yeah. In certain circles, yes. In certain industries, yes. In certain people and employing jobs, yes. It's definitely going to have that effect. But at the end of the day, like, this is the train of how things work. I get a question from a client. Sometimes it's a question I've gotten 700 times before. I know exactly what to type. I've typed it out. I should go into a Word doc or a note and type that response out and keep it and just copy and paste it because it's the same one. Sometimes I get one where I'm like, I think so. And so I'll drop it in there. Copilot will look up the accounting standard codification, the references for me from the FASB, all the accounting rules to help me formulate, and it'll help me write a good response to my client. But that email just is the open door. then it's like, let's hop on a call and talk about this. And if I can't hop on a call and talk about it, then I'm an idiot.
Right.
So you cannot, I can't sit there and we're like face to face on a Teams call, or I'm sitting at their conference table and they say, well, what about this? Okay, hang on. What about this? You know,
Right.
I can't do that.
Right.
So I still have to know my stuff.
But I think, so the Twitch asked, we already have, as adults, you already have that honed critical thinking skill, but what about teenagers? I think that's where the personal interaction of an educator comes in. So like you have to force them, and this is where I think the cell phone build is good, honestly. Like it is going to force kids to interact with other people. And I think that's the piece that we've been missing. And it's just been, everybody knew it, but we just didn't know what to do about it. And I think that like, I've really been thinking about this a lot and watching different responses and different clips of people who have already started school. And like, there seems to be more net positive than there is net negative. And so like, I think I just said a double negative, didn't I? Did I? No. But like, I do genuinely worry about some of these kids who are truly addicted to their phones.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're going to see as far as like what's the word I'm looking for, Clint? Like addiction things that when they're withdrawals.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see kids that have withdrawals.
Yeah.
Like literally they're being withdrawn from the drug.
Yeah.
And so I think that those critical thinking skills are going to be taught in some different way that we may not even know yet.
You know what we're doing starting tomorrow in my house? The phones go away during school hours, and they're not in school yet.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm just going to test it for a couple of days before I'm having a teacher. God, I tell you what. Sorry, we shouldn't talk about that game. It's a 4-year-old game. I want to see my kid's reaction to it before their teacher does, because it's my responsibility. They're my kid. But
Right.
I think education should not. I think if education is only asking students to answer things when they have their Chromebook in front of them and they're at home writing a paper, answering a test, whatever, I don't think that's learning. I think use chat, use whatever to help write your paper or write your essay, whatever it may be about the topic that you're learning about. But I think, like you said, that's when a teacher needs to like say, okay, like there needs to be conversation in the class.
Yeah.
If they're only sitting behind their Chromebook in class answering questions, that's not, it is learning, but that is not the level of learning that I think was going to make people successful. I think they still have to have that interaction of being able to respond, because that's what's going to happen in the workplace. Is you're not going to get the chance to go sit down and answer everything with an email. You're going to have to be able to have a conversation with people and be able to show you know what you're talking about. And so I think, you know, in education, that personal touch of a teacher is always going to have to be there to check the understanding. Isn't that the language you use?
Yeah, to check for understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great reference. And I think too, like we saw this during COVID, how important face-to-face interactions were. And it can't always be done on a video screen. It can't. Like we're human beings. Part of the reason why we work so well together is we're standing here face-to-face, and even though we're a little bit further apart, we're still talking about and talking out ideas and talking about, you know, we may have a formed opinion when we walk in here about a certain thing, but as we're starting to discuss it, I'm like, there's been several times where I'm like, yeah, I don't think I feel that way after the conversation has ended.
Yep.
So I think that is going to be something that is different going forward. Platforms like podcasts are just as important, going to be just as important as the teacher standing in front of them, because not only are they going to be able to listen to what they're doing, then you can interact with what is happening in that classroom face to face. And I think the education model as we know right now that we've had for the last 20 years is going to be dramatically different than what dramatically different 5 years from now.
Yep.
And the schools that are successful are going to be the ones that adjust. And if you don't adjust, and if you don't adjust, you're going to fall behind. I said what I said.
Yeah. That's what administrators and curriculum directors need to be thinking about right now, is how do we use the tool that they're going to have when they enter the workforce, but then also keep that critical thinking. This just changes the critical thinking.
But it's not hard. Like honestly, and this is something that I've always said. If you're a good teacher, you're going to figure out a way to reach your kids no matter what. Are you going to reach all of them? No. There's always going to be that one that you just can't. It doesn't. You planted that mustard seed and it may not flourish forever, but you at least tried to plant it, and it just doesn't happen for you. But most of your kids, if you're a good teacher, will respond.
Yeah.
So if you're at a 90% rate, then you're doing a good job, and you're going to have those kids that are going to be successful.
One more current event for the week, and then we can dive more into politics. But I'm probably way too invested and interested in this Sydney Sweeney story than most of my people and friends that I talk to. Like I can't get rid of it. I don't know if it's just in my feed or what, but I just think it's so interesting.
Well, okay, so let's.
I mean, like even just
give a recap of what for those that don't know.
Even the memes and the reels, like the Trump meme in jeans. This week, that one.
Did you see the Hillary one?
No, but I'll look it up now.
Hold on.
I almost had a heart attack laughing in bed last night, scrolling when I saw the Trump one. Like, that's. Stop. That's so bad.
All you got to do is just type Hillary Clinton has bad genes and it'll pop up for you.
So I can see it plenty good enough from over there. That's not going up on the socials, by the way.
No, I'm not putting that out there.
We can't do that to our listeners, and our viewers. But I really think that what I've been trying to say about it was very concisely said by Ben Shapiro, who is definitely a conservative talking head person. But I do appreciate, because to me, Ben Shapiro is the Bill Maher on the conservative side.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he will call stuff out when stuff needs to be called out. But he talks so dang fast. That is one guy you can't listen to on 1.5 speed, because he's already at 1.5 speed. But this is his take on, because Sydney Sweeney, they're just doubling down. Like it was like the jeans ad. Then it comes out she's a registered Republican. And then they show her at the gun range.
Yeah.
And girl can shoot.
Yeah.
And she's not just like standing still, like shooting a paper target. She's shooting like an IDPA range where she's like different, and she's hitting every single one of them.
Exactly.
Every time she pulls a trigger, you hit a ding. And I'm like, that I've done that before. That's not easy.
It's not easy.
Like girl, she actually knows. She's not just like a girl who's like, let's do this photo op and show her about a gun range. No. Girl knows how to shoot. And she's shooting a CZ. It's a really great gun. Anyway, I can't talk about that on the podcast. We'll get banned. But this has been Shapiro's take on it, and I just think it's a short little clip that explains well this whole thing.
Sydney Sweeney, there's a video that emerged on social media yesterday of her at the shooting range. Right, kind of awesome. And listen, if you live in a red state, your wife or your girlfriend probably knows how to shoot. Not only is there nothing wrong with that, there's something kind of great about that. So the backlash to Sydney Sweeney for being a pretty blonde white girl with blue eyes who can shoot a gun and isn't a registered Democrat is the reason that Donald Trump is president. Not her being that thing. The backlash to her being that thing, which is in fact combined with a left-wing perspective that says the actual realities of life must be Cynthia Erivo as Jesus Christ and Sydney Sweeney as Nazi. If that's going to be the juxtaposition, Democrats, you guys are going to lose until the end of time. This is a giant fail.
And he's right. Like, Sydney Sweeney being a registered Republican and being blonde hair, blue eyed, and can shoot a gun is not by itself like the reason Trump won. It's that the left's position is to fight that instead of say what they're going to do to fix any issue or problems they see in the world. Like, they have a better time accepting Cynthia Erivo, who's the person who played Elphaba on Wicked, the Green Witch, in the movie, as Jesus Christ in Jesus Christ Superstar, the Broadway show, which is already sacrilegious enough by itself without being played by a female. Like, that's totally fine.
Right.
But Sydney Sweeney over here selling blue jeans is not totally fine. And like, they push back and they fight against that. And then the rest of the country looks at it and they're like, no, I'm more in line with, blue jeans over here shooting her gun at the gun range than I am Cynthia Erivo and Jesus Christ Superstar.
And the problem is I don't even think they recognize it. That's exactly what he said.
No.
They don't even recognize it. And like, it's I just wanted to go back to what I said about Spencer Pratt 2 weeks ago from the Hills. I don't know if you picked up on that story. Now he's in D.C., and he's trying to get senators behind him to go after Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
And so that's a story in itself, like that has been only on TikTok. Like I haven't seen it anywhere else. And they're pushing Gavin Newsom for 28.
Mm-hmm.
And so if some of the things that Spencer Pratt is putting out with his lawyer standing there next to him, like holding a press conference into his phone, which is totally odd. Like,
yeah,
it's a whole different level of journalism, right? And news broadcasts. He's just doing it from his phone. And he's showing legal documents in his screen. And like, why not fight it? Like, why can't, and that's the other thing too. Like, it hasn't happened yet. And maybe it hasn't. I just haven't picked up on it. But Senator Kennedy from Louisiana made a mistake. And I sent you I meant to send it to you, but he made a mistake in something he said in a press conference, and he comes out later on in the day to speak to the press and says, "Look, I misspoke. Like that's not what I meant to say. I made a mistake, and I'm standing here in front of you correcting that mistake. Here's what I should have said. Here's what I should have done," and it was squashed. So instead of we have now like Gavin Newsom and is Karen Bass, right? She's the mayor of LA. Mm-hmm. Instead of them being like, look, we screwed up. Here are the steps that we're taking to make sure that this never happens again. They're just completely trying to cover it up.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
And this is the other thing. Like, so the Republicans are in control in Texas. Okay. We're going to hop into the redistricting stuff, but here's how this is relevant. There was mistakes made down in the Hill Country over the floods. Okay. They've politicized it a little bit and are now put it back on the emergency agenda, which is neither here nor there. But at least they're trying to fix it.
Right.
To make sure that this doesn't happen again. Well, now you have Gavin Newsom in California doubling down on like, well, we didn't really make any mistakes. Well, we refilled all that stuff. And then you have Spencer Pratt standing over like the big ponds or the retaining ponds that they're supposed to have filled up. They're empty.
Yep.
And like he's standing there on TikTok and he's posting like, look, these retaining ponds that they said that they were going to fill back up are still empty. Mm-hmm. So it's just fascinating to me, the Democratic Party, and just they keep fumbling. They keep fumbling, and I don't know how they're going to fix it.
Well, it's like you've said 100 times on the pod before. Everything's out there now. Like you can't just say something. It's funny. I don't know how much if you've been able to watch The West Wing anymore, but there's a lot of episodes where C.J. Craig, the press secretary, will say we've got a full lid, and then like the whole press team goes home, and like that's all the news you're getting that day because the day's closed, and then they talk about certain stories they want to try to hold off because the papers, it could still be in the papers on the West Coast, but if they hold off another hour or two, it won't make the papers for a whole nother day and they'll have time to spin it first. Like that's not the case anymore. Everything's out there immediately right away. And so like talking about redistricting, you have people who are coming out against Texas doing this saying, look at this district they're trying to draw and it's skinny and whatever and like all misshapen. But then they can point to districts in Illinois and districts in California and districts in New Jersey and like all over the place that are just shaped just as weird.
Right.
Like it. And so you have that, and not everybody sees that. People only see what's in their feed and whatever their algorithm is trying to feed them or whatever. But, people see that and be like, well, you're trying to say that Texas is doing something new, but it looks like you've been doing it for a while. And so it's like we always say, be consistent. If you want to come out and say Texas should not be doing this, okay, then everyone should not be doing this. And you got to admit that everyone has been doing it.
Right.
And like, did you have a problem with it when everyone else was doing it? Or like we said last week, the people you agree with politically, when they do it, do you have a problem with it? If you do, if you're screaming from the top of your lungs just as much then as you are now, you are a consistent person. I applaud you. I have zero issue with your take. But if you don't care about it whenever the lines are blue, but you do care about it when the lines are red, that's not consistent.
So I posted that conversation we had 2 weeks ago on TikTok, and it got way more views than what we normally get. saying not nice things about us and how we're, Rogan Bros or whatever. So immediately after that,
I only look at the comments about once every 3 weeks.
So
and I'll look at a
immediately
couple
after
and I'll be like, nope.
Less than 12 hours later, I screen grabbed the governor of Illinois and the governor of Indiana and Massachusetts all talking about how they were going to have to go in and redistrict to match Texas.
Yeah.
And I posted that. And you had the same people in the comments saying, well, if Texas is going to do it, then we're going to have to do it. But the problem is they've already done it.
Yeah.
Like we said, 3 weeks ago that Texas may be able to get the Democratic Party down to 5 seats. Mm-hmm. Maybe. That's if we're being really generous.
Yeah.
And I still think that may be a stretch. I was looking at some maps today on it, and I've dove way too far into redistricting and gerrymandering than I ever really wanted to. But it's interesting to me now.
There's one in Illinois that's it looks like a dumbbell. It's a blob, and then it goes down a highway where nobody actually has houses. It's just skinny down the highway so it can stay in the same district. And then there's another blob at this end.
Right.
Right. Come on.
I just think that it'll be.
And to be honest, I don't like it on either side.
I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah.
To be clear.
I get the political point of it, but my actual take is I don't like Texas doing it. I don't like it holding up flood relief and flood actions because this is on the table. So all the Democrats fled. I don't like that. And I think it's going to come back to bite you. I think there's going to be people who vote in the midterms that
didn't intend on voting in the first place,
that are going to see this as more negative than good.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I just think too, breaking quorum is fine. They can do that. That's fine. But don't run to a state like Illinois. Don't run north. If you're going to run to a different state, I hate that's Illinois. I don't really know why either, if I'm being honest. I don't know why them going to Chicago bothers me, but it does. And the fact
I think that was all set up for them.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was.
And I think that's why. But I mean, New Mexico's a blue state, but who wants to go to New Mexico?
Yeah. Well, who wants to go to Chicago?
Been there a few times.
It's not hot, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Go on the Great Lakes. That would be nice. Yeah. Cold water. It's really hot right now.
There's a great park, the Millennium Park.
Yeah.
It has the big bean right there on the lake. That's a nice little area.
Maybe that's where they are.
Been there a few times.
But I think, too, also Abbott going as far as, and it may have been Ken Paxton. Not Ken Paxton. Yeah, Ken Paxton going.
He's running for Senate.
Going as far as, giving civil arrest warrants for them.
Now, they do that.
That's common.
Yeah.
That's common. That's not something
vacating the seats. I don't know about that.
I'd have to go through and read the parliamentary rules.
The courts have to do it. They can't just declare it done. So, but they've asked the courts to look into it. I think at the end of the day, I understand completely why the Trump administration and the Republican Party wants to do it. It's a very slim margin. You don't know that you're going to have it in the midterms. Traditionally, presidents lose the House after they win an election, traditionally.
Yep.
And it's already a very slim margin. So whatever you can do to add seats, I understand the reasoning behind it. I do think at the end of the day, it's going to come back and bite you.
And I think, too, Trump talking this week about the census, the 2030 census is also fascinating, too.
Yes.
So
no, I got no problems with that.
I don't either.
As far as what I've read about it.
When he's talking about removing
yes.
Illegals from it and counting them in certain districts when they should not have been counted and all that stuff. So
here's the problem is I don't also agree with this, but I understand you're using the census for two different things. Well, multiple different things. But one of the things you're using the census for is federal aid to those areas. And if you are providing if somebody comes in and they're an illegal immigrant and they got a compound fracture in their leg and they show up at a state hospital, they're going to fix their leg.
Right.
Okay. And they're going to bill the government for that because the illegal immigrant may not pay. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying they may not pay. So part of the census goes to making sure there's funds in those areas where you have the most people because you're going to have more incidents like that when you have more people, right? That's just common sense. And so like that, but also don't like the hospital saying, sorry, you don't have your papers. You just go bleed out on the sidewalk.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that either. Right. I'm not advocating for that at all. But that same census that needs to know how many people are in an area so they know how many broken legs they're going to have in that area is also what's picking out how many representatives you have in that area. And that's where the problem is, because it should be two different numbers. You can have a number for how many actual people are in here, illegal or not, or here on work visas or not, whatever, but only people voting should be able to, or because it happens every 10 years, voting or will be voting in the next 10 years. Like that should be the number used to divide up for representation.
Right.
Or at least like, don't even take that, the voting thing, at least citizens. If you have the ability to vote because you're a U.S. citizen, then that's how it should be counted for representation in government. And so it's like, to me, it needs to be two separate things. You're trying to use the same number. And so the people who are advocating for illegal immigrants being counted in the census will bring up things like health services and social services. Okay, fine. I don't like that. But again, use that number for that. But let's use a number of voters or citizens to talk about representation.
So as you're talking this through, it got me thinking, like, are homeless people counted in the census and count towards representation? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
So when you have these giant encampments in California, all those people count towards representation?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, but think about it, though. If they have identification, well, I don't know how California does voting. In Texas, I always have to show my ID. But they could walk into a voting center and, like, just because they live in a tent doesn't mean they aren't a citizen and not allowed to vote, you know? So
yeah, that's called service-based enumeration.
I just think it needs to be two different numbers. That's way too simple of a fix for anybody to actually do it, but that's my take.
So you have a count. Let me just make sure I'm understanding exactly what you're saying. So you have a count that goes towards representation in Congress.
Yep.
Then you have a separate count that goes towards federal funding.
Yep. You got to think about it. Like 60 years ago, okay? Take us back to 1965. How big of an issue was illegal immigration in 1965?
Probably not as big as it is now.
Yeah, probably like, you might even say minuscule compared to how it is now. Or go back 70 years and go to 55, okay? Like, here's my point, is that we only do the census every 10 years. So the last 5 or 6 times we've done it, maybe 4 or 5 times we've done it, this has been an issue where there has been a discrepancy between the number the census provides and the number of citizens who can vote. 5 or 6 times ago on the census, this was a non-issue. So the census worked great, but we live in different times now. It's a different thing.
If you had to guess, how many people do you think came into the United States in the 1960s per year? Like, if you had to guess.
Entered the U.S.?
Like, immigrants entered the U.S. in 1960s.
We've always been a melting pot. I don't know.
3.3 million per year in the 60s.
Okay.
You know how many came in last year alone?
Oh,
like
geez.
during the
24 million people.
Yeah, it was over 30.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So 10 times as much.
10 times as much.
So, and that doesn't mean, and in 1960s, how many of those people were going through the process of becoming citizens? Like, just because they're coming into the country doesn't mean they're doing it legally.
Yeah, and
so just, it's a different time. The census is not an adequate or accurate number of who should be voting anymore. So it shouldn't go to saying how many representatives each state has, because it's not like you add representatives. There's 435 spots. Okay. That's it. So every, couple of years, you put 435 people into the Congress, into the House of Representatives. So, like, if you take away from California, then you're going to put it somewhere else. You've seen New York drop as people have left New York, and you've seen Texas add as people have moved to Texas. I just think that number needs to be citizens who can vote.
So during Biden's administration, 8 to 10 million total immigrants, both legal and illegal, came in per year. So it could be as many as...
That's a different number.
So as many as 40 million in 4 years.
Okay.
That's maximum.
Yeah.
What'd I say, 30?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
as many as 40.
I thought you were talking about per year.
No.
Okay.
40 million. So you're talking about in the 60s, you had 3 in 10 years.
Oh, okay.
In 10 years, you had 30 million. This is only half that. So it was double the amount came in. It's so complicated, but not complicated, if that makes sense. Like that, you have very, very valid points. None that I disagree with. So I don't really have a counterpoint.
You know, and that fixes it for both sides. I mean, that's a reach across the aisle, shake the hands kind of compromise, because the more liberal wing of representatives of Congress want those social services to stay in place for everyone. So, okay, you know, count them for that. But when it comes to how we're going to decide how many representatives, I keep saying representation, how many representatives, that was a really tough blindside block. Gosh.
I'm trying not to watch it because I want to comment on it.
I know I shouldn't.
So for those that are just joining the show, have on the TV
for
Clemson
no reason
and
at
Notre
all.
Dame, just because we wanted to watch football, have it on. We were watching Clemson and Notre Dame from 2021, the ACC championship game, and it appears that it is being held at the Mayo Bowl. I don't know where that's at. I'm assuming it's on the East Coast somewhere. And it looks like only family members are being allowed in the stands.
It's
a huge stadium, and
They'll
it's
go to
almost
the-
empty.
Yeah, they go to the blimp shot every now and again. There's no one in there. There's only people in like the 100 level, and they're all spaced out.
And
There's nobody in the upper levels.
It looks like they're in Carolina, North Carolina
That
Panthers
makes
Stadium.
sense for the ACC.
Yeah. Oh, he has a shield on. Oh my gosh, one of the coaches is in the press box, and he has a shield on.
Although I would say, if I had to wear one at work, I think the shield is like, I hate math. I hate something on my face.
I don't like it either. It always messed my glasses up, and I couldn't see.
Side note, we can move on, but you were joking when you got here, like we have all the boxes by the front door because we're doing our, like, right before we go back to school clean out. We just threw away the big box of masks.
Yeah, I got rid of mine last summer.
I found in our closet another box of them because you used to have them everywhere. Because like you would show up at Costco and not be able to go in.
Yeah,
So you had to have them.
right.
The kids too.
Yeah, we flew on an airplane, 21-ish. It was in that time period. We were still having a mask on an airplane, which is dumb in the first place. It's all recycled air, but they almost fined us. I think I can't remember if they fined us or threatened us not to be able to fly back if we couldn't keep our son masked the entire time. So we ended up just covering his seat with a blanket, so the stewardess just didn't see it. I mean, they knew what was going on, but just so they didn't see it. It's just another one of those ridiculous stories that happened during COVID. A couple of other things happened this week. Two main stories that I would like to touch on before we get off the air. First off, the student loan forgiveness is rearing its ugly head again for various reasons. The first one is eligibility is changing on all aspects of public service loan forgiveness under the Trump administration. We talked about this like in episode 15-ish. I went on a long rant about it. And how it changes every single administration, no matter who is in office. And you just have to figure out what to do when that person is in office. Trump, as expected, is not being as generous as Biden was towards certain aspects of student loans, even though during COVID, the administration was very friendly to student loans and student paybacks. That's the first thing. All of the repayment plans are starting to change. So if you were what was called the SAVE program, which was basically you paid for 20 years a certain amount that they decided based on a long formula, that is going away. But then also what's called the IDF, I believe, which is income driven forced repayment, is also going away. So, or is changing. The percentage amount is changing. So, like if you made less than a certain amount of money, essentially your student loans could be zero payments. Trump rolled out what's called the buyback program, and I don't know how interested you are in this, but basically what happens is every time there was administration, everybody's student loans, if you were in certain programs, would go on just a freeze, not a forbearance, not a delinquents, just on a freeze. And so even if you made payments, it didn't count towards anything. So what they did was they wanted everybody to apply if you had made payments during a certain period and you felt like you had met your 120 payments, especially if you were in the public service loan forgiveness program. And then you could go back and you could apply and you could go back into that. So as of last week, there were roughly 65,000 applicants that hadn't even been gone through yet. I'm one of those guys. And there's just so many applications that they need to go through. This is one of the programs that Doge went through and was found tons and tons of issues on. And I was really hoping that it would be a little more streamlined by this time. I realize we just passed the 200-day mark, so I'm patient when it comes to that. But you're also seeing more and more people who are not in the public service loan forgiveness or not in a public service job that are receiving payments that they can't afford.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have $250,000 and that's a $2,500 a month payment and you only make $40,000 a year, the math doesn't math.
Yeah, I think this is something that the administration is slow playing on purpose because they don't want, it's not part of the Trump platform to forgive student loans or make it easier on anybody. That's pretty much a hard line dichotomy between Trump and Biden. So I think rather than not do it anymore, which they can't do because it's a program where people are grandfathered in, they're just slow playing those applications and they're not going to work through them and not going to accept them. And people will just keep paying in that way because I just think politically, and I think the administration is looking at this purely from a political standpoint. If it comes out that they forgave, it's going to be a dollar amount. It's going to be a Trump administration. You guys talked about Biden, and now the Trump administration just forgave this many, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of loans, which would be under the PLSF. But Trump's not going to allow that headline to come through.
Right.
So you just slow play all the applications. And it kind of kicks the can down the road, sweeps it under the rug, whatever you want to say. And I think that's what his approach is, purely political, rather than.
So can you guess when my student loans, so mine is in that holding pattern, like what you're talking about. Would you like to guess when they are up to come out of that? November. And
next year?
Yeah.
This year?
Next year.
26?
26.
Midterm year.
Yeah. So I was telling somebody the other day about this, and I was like, hey, and they're like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, there's nothing I can do. So I went in to submit my minimum payment or my payment for this month, and it wouldn't even let me do that. So I called the people and they're like, yeah, your account mine is an extremely difficult case because of all the things that I've had to do in order to get it. It's never been in forbearance. I've never been behind. So there's none of those flags on my account. But because it's changed so many times since 2006 when I took the student loans out, that now I'm just in this holding pattern. Yeah. It won't let me pay. It won't let me apply for forgiveness. It won't let me do anything. It's just sitting there. So good for me that I guess I don't have to pay for that student loan at the moment, but bad for me because it's still hurting me as far as my credit goes.
Yeah.
So that's something that I am personally very, very involved in, or keeping a very close eye on, because it's what am I supposed to do? So, and I talked to the lady that we were looking at when we were looking at buying a house, and she's like, well, just wait.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Which is not a good answer for anything.
It's not a good answer because that's the only option that I have at the moment. So, and then also, kind of lastly, the last month ago, about a month ago, it was a news article that was kind of swept under the floor. It just kind of brought my attention today that Biden sent out $93 billion in federal grants under the auto pen.
Yeah.
I'm really shocked that this hasn't had more of a national news, especially on the Republican side, that they were giving out loans to the Department of Energy and to the Department of Education. So I don't know how quickly that money got out of those departments, if they got those funds. In any research that I was doing, it was very, very vague.
Yeah.
But $93 billion is a lot of money.
Do you want to play that clip?
Which
Pretty
one?
long. The Senator Kennedy one.
If you have it, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to play the whole thing, but
Yeah. Just tell me if you want to pause it and talk through it.
Yeah.
But it's like 7 minutes.
The 76-day period you're talking about, that's the period between the time that President Trump was elected and President Biden left office. Is that right?
That is correct.
And during that short period of time, 76 days, how much taxpayer money went out the door of the Department of Energy?
From the Loan Program Office in loans and commitments, $93 billion. Well over twice as much as in the previous 15 years.
pause it. Okay, so he says that $93 billion went out, which is more than the previous 15 years combined. And that to me just, it just screams of fraud. And I don't know how anyone in their right mind can think, okay, that's okay. You're setting the government, you're setting up us, you're setting up our children, you're setting up our grandchildren, and you're just pushing the can down the road for a quick buck.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So
How do you vet and do due diligence on a loan in 76 days? One loan, much less $93 billion. How do you do it?
I think it's probably pretty clear it wasn't done in many cases. As I mentioned, I'm told I'm holding back clearly in place stuff. There is lots of funds that have gone out the door and commitments that were made from businesses that provided no business plan, no numbers about their own financial solvency or how this project
So
can
you're
actually
telling
work.
me that the Department of Energy, in the 76-day period, before their boss was going to leave office, gave or loaned money to entities that had no business plan,
Correct.
no financials?
Correct. A number of those were were before the 76-day period as well. I've come in with great concern about how this institution, this great American institution, has been run and how American taxpayer money has been handled. I'm sorry everyone's upset that we're taking some time to do it, but what we've seen and what the record shows
I'm
is
not
just
upset. Could it be
irresponsible.
that a lot of people say you haven't returned your calls? Could it be that you and your colleagues have returned the calls, but the people calling just didn't like the answer? Could that be a possibility?
I'm not aware of that. You know, I give my cell phone number to any senator that
I know
wants
you
it,
do.
and I return my calls.
I mean, has your department gone dark? Somebody said your department's gone dark. Is it dark over there?
It doesn't look dark behind me.
I
Okay,
don't see
pause it
any
for
of you
just a second.
sitting on.
Okay, so I believe this is Chris Wright that
Yes.
you're responding back
Yeah.
to
Energy
Kennedy.
Secretary.
And it's very apparent in the conversation. I know the Twitch can't hear it, but you'll be able to hear it when it comes out. What'd you say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's very apparent that Kennedy is very frustrated with the fact that this guy's catching heat for going through and trying his best to make sure that they're crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's. And apparently, I'm making an assumption. Now, I don't know for a fact, but it sounds to me like senators are trying to get a hold of him to make sure he's releasing that money, and he's not.
Yeah.
And he's not releasing it. We don't have to play the rest of it because that's kind of the consents of it. But you get the idea of what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's. I agree with Senator Kennedy's and then Chris Wright comes back in, the energy secretary, and says, you know, hey, these things weren't vetted. You have people that were getting loans without any business plan, and that doesn't work. Like, you can get a government backed loan, and what the Energy Department makes loans for is, you know, basically things that affect energy. So if you want to, you know, say you want to start a business and you're going to set up electric car charging stations all across the U.S., the Department of Energy will make you a loan. Like, instead of you going to a commercial bank
Right.
yourself, they'll make a government backed loan for you to do that. But as we found out in the past, oh man, it didn't work out. We wanted to do this, but our costs are too high. We just couldn't do it. You spend all the money, you know, and then you just can't pay it back. Too bad. Right. $93 billion more than in the last 15 years. So you've got a few $1 billion a year basically going out normally. Okay. But in 76 days, they sent out $93 billion in these loans. I don't care who you voted for, what side of the political spectrum you come down on. Sit down and tell me that's okay.
It's not.
Come on.
And that is how we're going to wrap up the show to this week in episode 37 is I just don't understand how people can't see the amount of fraud that has happened over the last 4 years. I really struggle with that, honestly. Say what you will about President Trump right now, but the former administration literally robbed the country blind.
Yeah.
And pushed the can to our great grandkids. And now it's the responsibility of the people in charge now to do the best that they can in the time that they're given in office to fix it. It appears that we're headed down a corrected path, but it's not going to be easy. And the comment that I was talking about earlier, where Kennedy was apologizing, he was apologizing in a town hall to his constituents who he was saying, look, it's only going to get harder. It's not going to get easier because of what he's talking about here.
Right.
And I just think that the country is turning a little bit, slowly but surely turning in a direction that I believe is in a good direction. I don't always agree with everything that's being done.
Sure.
But in generally speaking, every time I turn around, we didn't even talk about the peace treaty and the ceasefire that was signed with
Azerbaijan, this last one.
Yeah, Azerbaijan.
There's 7 different peace deals he's done.
And it's still early.
He's not going to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
And he's not. He's just not. And we're still early in what's going to happen probably next week. I think the 15th is the date that he said that he was supposed to meet with Putin.
Yeah.
And now
next Friday.
And now Zelensky is wanting to be in on that. And I just don't see how that's going to work out because it didn't work out the last time that they tried to meet face to face. And Russia put out this week that if they want peace, we want Eastern Ukraine. Now, I'm not a foreign dignitary, and foreign geopolitics is not my expertise, but I have a pretty good understanding of how that works. And I think that seems to be the only outcome where there is going to be peace in this situation at this moment on August the 10th, 2025.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. When we record next, that meeting should have happened. It'll be interesting to comment on if it actually happened. And then maybe just let it sit for a little bit and let some stuff come out before we actually analyze and talk about it. I will be interested to see if the meeting even actually happens. Yeah. And it's going to be in Alaska.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
Hey, let's go to the state where we can just look and be like, there's your country, here's our country. We are neighbors with Russia, which is a hard thing to imagine. But, yeah.
Because you think about it going the other direction,
right?
Yeah. You think across the Atlantic, not across the Pacific.
I wonder what the flat earthers think about that. We got to look at their flat earth map about where Alaska.
I already told you how flat earthers think. They think it's flat and it spins really fast, so that way it looks like it's a circle or a sphere.
Sure.
You take that flat and you just spin it real fast, and then it appears it's a sphere.
Okay, makes sense. Sign me up.
Big week ahead. We start school Wednesday at our district.
Same.
Good
start.
I'm excited. I'm I'm pumped. I'm really, really, really excited about the subjects that I'm teaching. I'm making a minor adjustment in my schedule, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to work with the team that I have. We had a good week on the volleyball program. We had 3 scrimmages this week. We play our first game here locally.
Yeah. I like the routine. I like getting back in the routine.
Oh, me
of things.
too.
Like we got school starting back. We got our, soccer practice like for fall ball and stuff coming up, and like it's busy and we're doing stuff, but like these last few days of summer, it's just been like, go play outside. Okay. It's 105 degrees. Come inside. Okay. Like turn off the Xbox, like watch a show, like go play out. Like let's go fishing. Like, oh wait, it's still 105 degrees outside. Right. It's 90 degrees at night. I'm just ready for like the routine and to have the enjoyment of.
I heard upstairs, my son, he was like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm running, Dad. I'm just running.
I know.
I'm like, okay. Yeah. Because I can't send him outside because, it's the direct sun. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it's 98 degrees and it feels like it's 108 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm ready to get back and get going.
Yep. Same.
So, have a good week.
Dude.